Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to this evening's analysis. Would you say that IEBC, as currently constituted, is 80 to 100% pro-Ruto? And so in this analysis, I want to try to demonstrate to you on a simple basis why I believe, from where I see it, that IEBC, as currently constituted, is pro-Ruto. You know, some days ago, when IEBC gave the leeway that the candidates would be able to actually get the results from the polling stations via their agents and then display them on their websites and everything and analyze them and do whatever they want, with an exception of trying to declare the official outcome.
And we are saying the agents and the candidates, they also need to tally their own results. The media should also tally the results. We shall have a media platform where the forms, when they are transmitted, will be collected. And those on the ground, then you can have access to those results. So let everybody have the results, and we are not limiting the media, even the candidates will have copies. So together, when we go to the National Tallying Center, we shall be comparing the results which all of us have. So everybody can tally, have their own PVC, but the final announcement, declaration, is the commission. That's what we are saying.
You know, it gave a rise to a narrative. And this narrative is a very touchy narrative. So this touchy narrative is the narrative of Linda Kura at the polling station. Of course, Linda Kura is always a narrative that comes at the home stretch of the campaigns. Like right now, you see, they are really wrapping up. And so one of the narratives that would be very, very much dominating the political landscape is the Linda Kura. And especially when IEBC gave the go-ahead, you know, it actually allowed the politicians, actually the candidates, to now have the oomph of talking about this touchy narrative and trying to prepare their camps very well based on what they look forward to doing on the 9th of August. And so, you know, this is the only time that IEBC is trying to portray their autonomy. They are becoming very autonomous like never before. After the inauguration of the new constitution, you know, we had the 2013 general elections, we had the 2017 general election, and the question on the autonomy of the IEBC was still in the lips of very many people. And very many actually controversial statements were being made in as far as, is IEBC really autonomous, to the extent that it cannot be compromised by any arm of the government, or like, let's say what's going on right now, the state capture. Now, 2022 is appearing to be a very unique year, and the election itself is going to be very unique, because IEBC in the first place refused to be enjoined with the other agencies of the government so that they can streamline everything and prepare for the elections. And that is one aspect which actually sent kind of eyebrows. I mean the eyebrows got raised for many people, where they were really asking, who is really controlling IEBC? Because they really refused to get enjoined in the company of other agencies to prepare and actually streamline everything towards the general election. And by that time, you know, it was the same time when William Ruto and the core were very serious on matters to do with how elections were being planned to be rigged. And you remember the tour of DP to US and UK. You know, that was kind of the main item in his to-do list, which he wanted to pass to the whole world. And when he came back, you know, we saw the development that took place. We saw the IEBC being adamant and trying to distance itself from any other agencies that the executive wanted it to partner with, and actually spearhead the preparedness of the general election. And so in the first place, that is when the discussion on insinuations and everything to raise the eyebrows concerning William Ruto's involvement in IEBC and attachment and everything like that was very, very much rampant. So that is the first thing. Now, when you are coming to this very touchy issue on the Linda Kura, historically, you would find that the only one man who knows all about the Linda Kura and who knows everything pertaining to its effects is Raila Odinga, because he has seen it all. If you look at the reports that are coming from Raila's party generally, and speaking of how he has lost election, there is one recommendation that they always give. They always give in their report after evaluation has been done and the next move is to be determined by the party. They always say that our agents get compromised at the polling station, and he has talked about this very many times. And even in the corridors of justice, when there is a petition, maybe to contest a given election outcome, we always hear more of this discussion. We always hear more of this narrative that agents of a given candidates are very vulnerable to compromise. Then you would ask a question: why is it that in 2022 they are now becoming more autonomous and giving this kind of leeway to the candidates? One of the main intentions of the deep state is to ensure that there is bureaucracy and bottlenecks in every operation. Like, for example, when we talk of the manner in which election is handled, they would want bottlenecks to be instilled at the polling station. The moment bottlenecks are instilled at the polling station, they know very well that there is nobody who will tamper with the process flow. And so if they make it very, very tight, they definitely know nobody would just come and maybe try to jeopardize whatever they have planned to flow in a given way. But on the other camp, talk of William Ruto's camp, it is like William Ruto is trying to fight the deep state. He's trying to prove the deep state wrong. So for him, he would generally go for an IEBC which is seamless, an IEBC which is very much open for everybody to see. Because when you are not pro deep state, you would want everything to go as open as possible. Talk of what Raila actually saw in 2017, 2013, and even when you go back down in history, the same thing that is really happening to William Ruto. And so if IEBC in 2022 trying to be more autonomous than they were very autonomous in 2017 and 2013, it will again tell you now that there's something that is in the airwick. You remember that phrase? There's something that is in the airwick. And if this something is in the airwick, you will try to analyze how the reception of the message was in both the camps. Look at William Ruto's camp. They really received this information with a lot of excitement, with a lot of frenzy of excitement, and even they went all over and told people, this is what we were waiting for, this is how we have been in need of it. All right. And talk of what William Ruto promised the whole world, that he would be having an independent tallying center where the election results would be aired. All right. So this is Miguna. Miguna was saying that DP William Ruto and Kenya Kwanza must have at least 5 strong and uncompromisable agents at each polling station with satellite phones and fully charged smartphones, loads of fully charged batteries, food, water, and 4x4 vehicles. It's now or never. And then it's Linda Kura. So generally, this is one of the very, very serious recommendation that Miguna gave. And Miguna has been in this tunnel, and he knows what it means for an agent to be compromised at the polling station. Talk of 207, one of the reasons why they were really protesting the results of 207, and even 2017 when he actually joined Raila, he knows exactly well. So Linda Kura is to protect an agent from being compromised by the competitor. And so when you hear this touchy narrative going on, Kenyans must be very careful, because the moment it starts to take shape like this, for me, I see it in just one perspective, which is very, very much precarious to how the outcome will be. For instance, if we have a bottleneck kind of process at the polling station, you know, we would be expecting that we have a streamlined manner of maybe relaying everything, and that would maybe leaning towards the deep states kind of operations. But when we give it an open environment, when we have an open realm of the process taking shape and everything flowing to the end, you know, it might lead to the side which is losing, yet they do not want to show people that they're losing, to start peddling propaganda. And you know, propaganda is a recipe for chaos, especially when the results are being given from the polling station. And if you look at the reports generally, the 2007-2008 post-election violence, one of the recipes of the post-election violence was a differing result transmission, okay? And we did not have a properly aligned channel under which the authenticated, the verified and approved result can be confirmed by both sides of the camp until you cannot doubt whatever comes from it. So in this one, you know, this election is hotly contested, and I see this as a move that might not be ending on a well-balanced basis, but it will be favoring one side. And so being that this was an initiative which was being driven by William Ruto in the first place, and IEBC gave a quick go-ahead to it, what would you then conclude? Conclusively, you would say that where there is smoke, there is fire. And this fire might be the fire of William Samoei Ruto trying to dictate some things behind the scenes in the IEBC. And we might be surprised if it comes. When the cows shall have come home, it will dawn on us that indeed Ruto captured IEBC to prove deep state wrong. I don't know, maybe there's something that you think, and your perspective might be different, and you might have an insider information. I want to hear from you. Let me hear what you have from your side based on this, because it is now taking a different dimension, and it is very serious, because we are only remaining with less than 42 days, which is very important to consider. What do you think? Let's meet in the next analysis. Have a great evening.